Hello everyone, welcome to Tomorrow Matters, a channel that focuses on technology and futurology looked at through the lens of environmentalism, philosophy, and rational thought. Here we explore emerging technologies, existential questions, and challenges to our planet and the beings who live on it. For our first episode, we're going to focus on vertical farming. Vertical farming is the practice of growing crops in stacked layers, usually done indoors in controlled environments, with sustainability being a key focus. There are many reasons why many farmers, especially in urban areas, are starting to adopt vertical farming, mainly to reduce the horizontal space used for crops, help the environment by saving resources such as water, and reduce the time and cost of food transport. As the world's population grows, we will have to come up with new solutions in order to grow enough crops while being conscious of space. According to the United Nations, the world's population is expected to reach 9.7 billion by the year 2050. At the rate that this is happening with our current agricultural system, we will run out of space by using more natural land for growing food. With deforestation having a big impact on climate change, we'll have to come up with better crop growing techniques. But is vertical farming a viable solution? We will find out today. But before we go into the pros and cons, we're going to have to go into how this technology works and some of the companies that are working on it. I'm Grant Keegan from Tomorrow Matters, and welcome to our first episode. While the main idea behind vertical farming is stacking rows of crops in tall shelves, there are several ways to do this, all while saving space and resources. An interesting technique involves growing plants without soil by suspending them over water. This is called hydroponics, and it involves cycling nutrients through water-based systems. Variations involve dripping and mist spraying. Vertical farming uses LED lights to simulate sunlight. This is a technology that has been perfected in the last decades, raising in efficiency and lowering in price as it is used in many areas of our life. All these technologies offer promising results, and personally I'm excited to see where the future of vertical farming will lead, especially with innovations in the robotics and automation sectors. Now, let's talk about the advantages of vertical farming. Although there's a high initial cost for vertical farming, as we will explore later, there's a financial and ecological incentive to do so. By placing crops above each other, the space used is significantly reduced. They are grown in indoor facilities where the adequate conditions for plants are maintained year-round. More people in this world means more food is needed. This transformation of natural land spaces can have disastrous effects on the environment. In the Amazon, a big part of the destroyed rainforest is dedicated to agriculture, with a big percentage dedicated to the soy, palm oil, and meat industries. The more disastrous effects of meat will be covered in future episodes, but for now I want to focus on the importance of reducing land space. Over the last few years, series of devastating man-made fires have hit the Amazon rainforest, which keep destroying large parts of the land. This, along with the agriculture industries, will reduce the forest to nothing. Many call the rainforest the lungs of the world, and it is one of the natural largest areas on Earth that transforms the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere into oxygen. But it seems like what we do to those lungs is the equivalent of smoking a pack of cigarettes every single day. The destruction of the Amazon, along with other natural areas, will have disastrous effects if we continue at the rate we are going. Vertical farming can help with this land reduction. As technology advances, developing nations can also afford to build these facilities, allowing them to meet their nutritional needs while reducing everybody's environmental footprint. Besides land, vertical farming can also help reduce the number of resources such as water and soil. Additionally, the indoor nature of vertical farming significantly reduces or eliminates the use of pesticides and fertilizers. This saves a lot of money and additionally helps the climate considering the carbon footprint of the pesticides. In his book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster, Bill Gates describes that, all told, fertilizers were responsible for 1.3 billion tons of greenhouse emissions in 2010, and the number will probably rise to 1.7 billion tons by mid-century. Unfortunately, there simply isn't a practical, zero-carbon alternative for fertilizer right now. He also says that, that's just the emissions from making fertilizer. We don't have any way to capture the greenhouse gases that come from applying it. Any effort to reduce emissions is important, and while creating greener solutions for fertilizer is a great idea, I think that reducing or eliminating their use is a better option as we progress into the future. Aerofarms, a vertical farming company, uses a technique called aeroponics, where they spray mist that gives nutrition to the plants. According to their website, they use up to 95% less water than traditional farming with zero pesticides, keeping optimal plant biology and monitoring every aspect of their growth also makes the products taste better and become more nutritious. These farms also produce year-round, since they are indoors. By having the appropriate conditions for growing crops all the time, the productivity and revenue is constant. The idea behind farming seasons will become a thing of the past. Over a large period of time, the financial incentive to adopt vertical farming can be attractive as a long-term solution that compensates for the high initial costs. With vertical farming, these growing facilities can be built anywhere, including within cities and places where food doesn't grow, including deserts and other planets. I imagine they will become the main food source when humanity starts colonizing Mars, the moon, other planets beyond our solar system. It will be very interesting to see how the innovation also impulses vertical farming and allows humanity to reach spaces where they haven't previously been, including also Antarctica. So this will help reduce the distance and time that food is transported from the farm to the market. It will have many positive effects with the resources and money saved from transportation and preservation. Even if in the future trucks will be electric, today it will reduce emissions generated by their gasoline. This will have significant effects as the bridge between rural and urban areas in our world starts closing. If vertical farming is widely adopted, we will surely definitely see a change in how society is structured and the types of food prepared in different regions. With less amounts of land used to feed the same amount of people, we will create a better path for a sustainable future, as land that was previously used for farming can be repurposed or even allow nature to reclaim it. So vertical farming isn't perfect. It does come with its own series of challenges, which is what we're going to discuss next. And the biggest problem vertical farming is that it can become expensive to run and maintain these facilities. A key aspect governments should focus on is shifting subsidies away from unsustainable farming practices, such as the meat industry, and use the money to fund sustainable projects that will pay off with time while helping the environment. With innovation and breakthroughs, vertical farming will be a surely sustainable method that reduces or even nullifies our carbon emissions through this part of agriculture. Also while maintaining costs low, because that's a big reason why many businesses are not adopting vertical farming, is that the costs are still too high, and that's something we have to fix. There's another company that I researched, it's called Plenty, and Plenty is another company that specializes on these techniques. According to the company's co-founder, Nate Story, the cost curve for the technology is reaching an affordable point with innovation in areas such as robotics and solar power. With time, the technological improvements there will come a time where the incentive to use these techniques will be so much better than what is going on right now. They will become more attractive to investors, and also the reduction in prices will also drive innovation, and more people will have access to vertical farming, including not just these these businesses that are being created today. So another challenge the vertical farms face today is that they require large amounts of electrical power to keep running. In the present, it may generate more carbon emissions to build a vertical farm than what it saves from the electricity it uses. As of today, many companies rely on energy produced by unsustainable, expensive power. However, as their global energy supply starts shifting from non-carbon emitting sources, many of the energy and cost-related issues will fade away. As climate change becomes a bigger threat, new, more effective green energy sources will be created. Fossil fuel power supplies are highly unsustainable, so many companies and governments are starting to look at ways to get our carbon emissions to zero. We will explore how this can and will be done in future videos. So to wrap up, I think it is important not to be discouraged by these challenges. By investing in businesses that use vertical farming, we can drive innovation, reduce costs, and also create better farms that improve over time and with further inventions. Obviously, these are not a perfect way and an end-all solution to meet all of our food needs that are going to keep increasing with the population increases in the planet. But I think this idea will have more impact in the next century, especially where the paradigm shifts will happen in different areas of our life, and we will need to explore different areas of humanity where more and different farming methods will be used. So that pretty much wraps up the episode. If you like learning about vertical farming, please like, share, subscribe, all that. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I will be posting a lot of different stuff related to technology, related to philosophy. If you like these kind of things, please support the channel. We'll open up Patreon soon, but also expect a lot of more videos like this one in the future. So I guess that's everything for today. So my name is Grant Keegan from Tomorrow Matters, and I hope you all have an amazing day and an amazing week. See you around.